Good morning. Good early morning to you. Today will be part three of the book by Stephen COVID-19. Stephen Covey. Uh, we are moving on, getting close. I think we're going to start some of the habits. What is an effective habit? It's an internalized pattern of behavior. And likening it to maturity, also, look at this control. There is a continuum of maturity. It's not a binary switch like so many things in life. So it is it's a maturity spectrum from dependency to independency to interdependency. And these seven habits provide a framework for sequential growth along the spectrum. Uh, we're born dependent. Without being completely dependent, nothing's more fragile than a human Homo sapien baby. And it's a constant struggle to become more and more independent, physically, emotionally, mentally, and financially. And ultimately, once we've achieved those four states, we can move into interdependence, in which all of nature is interdependent, including society. So we are part of society and we're part of nature. So the highest goal is interdependence. Again, with the but being fully physically mature does not guarantee mental maturity. And likewise, being physically dependent does not mean mental immaturity. There are many examples in each case. You could be mentally or physically handicapped, but mentally supreme, like, say, Stephen Hawking. Certainly mentally mature, but physically dependent. And physically mature people can be mentally immature. Just like think about the meatheads down at the gym. They're definitely physically independent, but probably have a long way to go if it's the same person we're thinking about. In a dependence situation, it's kind of a quid pro quo. You take care of me, I take care of you. People are not doing it. People not doing good things because of uh, altruism. They're doing good things because they want things done to them. Whereas independent, you don't need other people to take care of you, and that's in and of itself is something to be proud of. But it's not the entire way. Going to interdependence is when you realize that yes, I have an independent ability, yet more can be done with cooperation. We can combine efforts. If you're dependent, it's if I'm dependent, then if you don't like me, it could devastate me. Luckily, this has never been a problem with me. It's you get used to people not liking you, and it gets easy. But it's probably not the best way. Although independence is a major achievement, it is not supreme. And again, back to this personality ethic, that'll put independence on a pedestal as opposed to interdependence. And it's probably a knee-jerk reaction to years of being taken advantage of. If you're being taken advantage of by other people who are dependent, then independence is a big step up. It can feel like a major achievement. But again, not nearly as much can ever be accomplished as in an interdependent relationship. Approaching life for full independence is like playing golf with a tennis racket. It's just not the right tool for the job. Imagine if your goal, this is me coming up with this example, but imagine your goal is to make a pencil and you want to be independent. There's not one person alive who knows every step in the pencil making process. You'd have to harvest your own lumber, mine your own graphite, assemble your own factory machines. There's so many steps to even the simplest aspects of our life. It's true that society is enormously interdependent. If you're emotionally independent, someone could be, I'm secure in myself, but I recognize the need for love. and who doesn't. If you're physically independent, you can take care of yourself, but you realize that more can be done together. Whatever your skills are, if you team up with someone else and take care of each other's weaknesses, clearly there's a much higher ceiling for what can be accomplished. If you're emotionally independent, it's say, I am secure in myself, but I recognize the need for love. If we're, again, private victories precede public victories. You can't harvest a crop before planting it. So you got to take care of your problems behind closed doors before releasing them onto the world. And then, of course, there's lots of talk about the golden goose. The golden goose, I think it was an Aesop fable where someone notices their goose lays a perfectly 24-karat gold egg. And every day they get an egg, and they're very excited, and they're making money, and it's all too good to be true. But then one day they're impatient. They don't want to wait for the next day. They want that egg, and so they kill the golden goose and find out there's nothing inside, and now they have a dead goose. So life, it's like a balance between the golden egg and nurturing the golden goose, also known as the P/PC balance, the production/production capability balance. In other words, don't neglect the goose, but also don't neglect the egg. I mean, if you have a child, you can have the golden goose would be the healthy, functioning child, and the egg would be whatever they accomplish. Let's say a tidy room. It's easy to get one without the other. It's easy to have a tidy room and a very unhappy goose. You can force them to do it, or you can have an untidy room and a happy goose. Sorry, you can have the tidy room and the golden egg without a happy goose, or you can have a happy goose with a messy room with no egg. So you can't neglect the production, and you can't neglect the production capacity. There are three types of assets: physical, financial, and human, and they're all relevant to the golden goose paradigm. Like a physical asset, such as a lawnmower, it can run. I mean, if you fail to maintain it, without sharpening it and adding oil and other maintenance, it could break down within a few years, and it ends up being a terrible investment because you didn't get all that could be gotten out of it. So physical assets need to be dealt with in a very similar way. Financial aspects, principal versus interest. There's your goose versus egg. The interest is the egg. The principal is the golden goose. If you keep dipping into the goose, eventually the goose dies and there's no egg. What a great analogy. Your options are limited without the production capacity being nurtured. And of course, the human assets are the most important because they in turn can control financial and physical aspects. So you can kill multiple geese with one buckshot. So, in conclusion for today, we want to focus on preserving so as not to become inconsiderate with other people. If you don't focus on the niceties and the pleasantries and showing appreciation for someone in a relationship, the relationship can deteriorate. That's why they say it's work every day. So, that's our golden goose for today. We want to focus on the needs of other people and the production capacity of ourselves, and we want to excel. So, thank you, and good morning.